The throne chamber of the Vex Dominion unfurled like an endless horizon, an immense architectural statement meant to humble every soul that crossed its threshold. Vast crystalline spires thrust upward like serrated teeth, vanishing into a ceiling drowned in shadow, while a cold, oceanic glow seeped through the air without source, bathing everything in a haunting blue stillness. At its center sat Queen Vast, perfectly still, as though carved from ancient stone. Time passed. Long, heavy minutes, yet she did not move, did not blink, did not betray a single thought. Reports echoed across the chamber, voices rising and dissolving into silence, but none of it touched her, until one detail pierced through the ritual monotony. A human stood alone before the assembly, Commander Sarah Chen, unadorned, composed, her presence defined not by medals or rank but by an unshakable quiet. Around her, the Vex elite shimmered in ceremonial regalia, their scaled forms catching the dim light like living jewels, yet it was the human who seemed immovable. When the aging counselor Korath spoke of a forgotten expedition, his tone carried the dull weight of routine, until he mentioned what had been found. Remains. Preserved. 12 years old. Something invisible fractured. The queen's stillness wavered, not in motion but in presence. Her breath deepened, her gaze sharpened with a focus that turned the air taut. The remains, she asked, her voice steady but strained by something deeper than authority. The chamber fell silent. Confirmation came, hesitant and incomplete. Then Chen moved. In her hand lay a single artifact, small, intricate, unmistakably royal. A bloodline etched into its surface. The silence that followed was suffocating. It was hidden with care, Chen said, her voice calm, precise. Whoever left it behind wanted it to endure. The queen's control faltered, just enough. Claws pressed into her throne, a flicker of something raw breaking through years of discipline. A truth long buried began to rise, a daughter once lost to time, now hovering at the edge of possibility. Weeks later, under the veil of secrecy, a lone vessel descended toward the imperial world. Chen returned not with speculation, but with certainty. The daughter lived, not as a captive, not as a relic, but as someone reborn among humans. Sheltered, healed, given a life untouched by empire. Their meeting did not unfold beneath vaulted ceilings or guarded ceremony, but in a quiet settlement on a distant world, among modest homes, cultivated soil, and the quiet rhythm of ordinary existence. When mother and daughter stood face to face again, there were no proclamations, no witnesses demanding spectacle, only a fragile, trembling moment stretched across 12 years of absence. The daughter spoke first, her voice unsteady yet resolute. She would not return, would not surrender herself to a system that shaped lives into instruments. And in that moment, something extraordinary occurred, not a command, not a conquest, but a choice. The queen, who had ruled through strength and certainty, chose to release what she loved most. The empire felt it like a tremor. When the truth reached the capital, it spread like a quiet shockwave. The lost heir had been found, and she had chosen freedom. More astonishing still, the queen had allowed it. No force was sent, no decree issued. Instead, she affirmed her daughter's will, placing love above dominion. In doing so, she introduced something alien into the foundations of her own rule, compassion without control. The daughter remained where she had built her life, no longer a missing piece of power, but a living bridge between two worlds that had never truly understood one another. And behind it all stood Chen, the silent strategist, aware that the most profound victory she had achieved required no deception at all. It was built on honesty, on patience, on the delicate alignment of truth and timing. Nothing in it had been false. The grief, the kindness, the choice, each element real, each consequence earned. And that was why it endured. Because in a universe shaped by force and ambition, the rarest power of all is not the ability to hold on, but the strength to let go.